I've been in this workshop about a year now, and it's a great space. But I don't want to store all my junk in here, and it's all in the house. So it's always been my intention to get a storage shed to sort this all out. I just couldn't decide whether to buy one or build one. Well, you've probably worked out which option I'm going for. I'm thinking I can build it in a week if I get some of the more complicated jobs done first. I've already made the window frames, and today I'm going to make the door. I've got some very detailed plans, and this is just 5 bits of wood I need for the frame. Not the door frame, kind of just the carcass for the door. So first job is to get these 5 bits cut to length on the miter saw. All this timber has rounded off edges on it, and I don't want that, so I'm going to set up the table saw and rip one edge square. Actually, no, I'm not. On the shorter bits, I'm going to rip 2 edges square, and on longer bits, 1 edge square, and then we can measure and work out what we need to do on the other side. To skin the door, I've got some tongue and groove cladding. I want this to sit on those smaller bits of wood I've cut. With it on there, then I can see how much I need to take off the longer bits, and I can get those ripped down on the table saw. Into these longer lengths, I now want to cut a little rebate to sit the tongue and groove. So I'm going to get the tongue and groove cladding on the table saw and move the fence over to set the thickness. Then I'm going to make a couple of cuts, removing the waste. Got all 5 bits cut now, and it all lines up. So now I can just get some glue applied and get the whole thing screwed together. With the frame done, now I need to get the tongue and groove boards installed, but obviously one end or one edge is a groove and one is a tongue. So first I'm going to rip the groove off the first board to get installed. So I've got a straight edge on there. I can get that butted up against the edge. Now I can keep getting the boards put in place until I get to the end, and then I can work out what I'm going to need to cut off, because the last board will need, well, it needs the tongue cutting off and probably some more to make it fit. with them all in, I can just mark out where it needs to be cut and get that done on the table saw. All these are on and lined up now, so I'm going to get a line drawn over where the bracing is. Then I'm going to get a nail into the centre of each board on my line to hold them in place. I've installed these boards, I didn't cut them to length, I've just left them long. So now I'm going to set up the track saw and just zip off the excess. I've got those nails in just to hold everything in place. Now I want to really secure it, and what I'm going to use is some dowels. I've got some 8mm ash ones that I'm going to use. So I'm going to set a depth in a drill and then drill some holes for them to go. And get some glue into the hole, then grab my dowel and hammer it down. Then trim off the excess and keep going. So I've got all the downs in now. I'm just going to wait for the glue to dry and then give it all a sand down. All sanded down. Now I'm going to get on with making a frame for this. And what I've got to do it is some treated wood, which is just slightly wider than the ones 3x2s I was using. So I just need to get 4 bits cut down. They're going to go around this door. The 4 bits cut, I can get them put around the door and then get some screws in to lock it all together. I've got that frame done for the door. Now I need to bring the two together, and what I have is some stainless steel hinges. I've got the hinge jig I made when I made the last door, so I can mark out the position where I want the hinges to go, Then I'm going to get a flush trim router bit, put in the router, clamp the jig in place and route out the mortises for these hinges on the door first, then transfer the marks over and repeat it for the frame. The mortises are cut on the frame and the door, but the router leaves rounded corners and the hinges are square, so I'm just going to square everything up with the chisel. Now to get the hinges installed, so I've got a self-centering drill bit. I'm going to put in the drill some pilot holes and then get these screwed in. Right, that's going to work. Now we need some door jambs. I've got some battens of wood that I can get put in place, marked out, cut down and screwed in. I've got a lock to go on the door, but it needs to be level with the door frame. So what I've done is I've glued a couple of blocks of wood together and got them cut down. And they're going to go in just to lift it up to the right level. So now I can get that bit of wood just glued and screwed into place. With a bit of wood in, I can now work out where I want the lock to go, get that marked out, and then drill a hole that needs to be 26mm all the way through this. Right, I'm not actually going to go any further with fitting the lock for now because I want to get the whole thing painted. So I'm going to get the hinges taken off, take this all back outside, and I'll see you there. I've got some black barn paint left over from the workshop build, so I'm going to get the door and the frame both done with that. The paint's all dry on this, so I got it brought back in and the two bits screwed together. Now I can get the lock fitted. So first I just get this pushed through and then there's 4 screws to lock it into place. The last job is this nice little bit of brass that just goes over the lock to make everything look neat. Right, that's it all done. So now I can get on with the shed. So next week we're going to start that. So thanks for watching. Thanks to my patrons and please subscribe for more videos.